Hello, class of 2021 seniors. This is Mr. Legg here to work with you through your ICAP lesson. We've got quite a bit to cover. So the first thing I'm going to say is Ms. Wickers and I and Ms. Rodriguez have each been saying, make sure to check in with us. Senior checklist says check in with us by October. That is not a deadline. That is a suggestion to make sure that you do so by then so that we can help prepare you for the things that you're going to be doing throughout October, November, December to prepare for your plans for after you graduate. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. Make sure you have your phone ready. You can take some pictures. Later this week, copies of this presentation and others will be in the class of 2021 Schoology classroom, and then also be prepared to log into your student portal. All right, so I'm going to start first with telling you what the questions are for ICAP. Pretty simple. First is your current GPA. Second is going to be, in order to graduate, I need to do the following. I'm going to even actually go over the answers with you. If you are graduating this year and you've pretty much passed all of your classes, the only thing you're going to need to do this year to graduate is English and math. You need to pass those classes. Uh, Another example may be you may need to make up your chemistry class from your junior year, or you may not have finished up your PE credits. Then, of course, also making sure that you complete your senior checklist. So, those are a couple of things that might be examples for that answer. Question three, my highest SAT or ACT score is, unless you took it last year or during the summer prior to us supposed to be taking it in April, you do not have a SAT or ACT score. You may have a PSAT, but not a SAT or ACT score. Same thing with question number four. Look at my SAT or ACT score from last year, NA. So right now your answers are NA for questions 3 and 4, and all you really need to answer is your current GPA and question 2, what you need to do to graduate. So I'm going to have you hop into your student portal. I hope you all know by now how to access your student portal. Remember, student ID, 8-digit birthday is what you're working with there on your password. So GPA, that can easily be found in the portal right there. Also, you'll see transcripts. So if you click on that transcripts tab there, what you will get is it'll take you to Infinite Campus. There you can click on reports, and there you can pull up your DPS transcript from there. Do me a favor, make sure you keep your student portal open while we continue to go through this lesson. All right, let's move forward. Again, your 4-year plan credit check. For you to graduate, you're going to need to have 40 credits of English, which is 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of science, 3 years of social studies, 10 credits of PE, so 1 year of PE, ROTC is included in there, and then 90 elective credits. Of those 90 elective credits, 10 of them either need to come from fine arts, such as music, um, uh, choir, band, drawing, painting, ceramics, arts and crafts. Those all fall under fine arts, but we can also use any of your CTE classes to fall underneath that same fine arts or CTE category. So 1 year of those also needs to fall within electives. You'll see units there. We did not switch you over to units, so you do not have to worry about that. But basically, 10 credits is 1 year worth of that class. And because you've been able to take 3 electives every semester leading up to this year, you should, for the most part, have the majority of your electives done. All right, your next questions. What have I learned about the cost of living, salary, and budgeting is? We're going to go over that here in a minute. So I'm going to give you an exercise to help you, and maybe you can tell us what you've learned at that point. My current post-secondary goals includes, that's really up to you. And post-secondary means what's happening after high school. So high school is secondary school. What's happening after high school? What are my plans? What do I want to do? What do you want to do is what we're talking about. List at least 3 documents needed in order to fill out the FAFSA. So hopefully, as you know by now, October 14th is going to be the first Wednesdays that Ms. Rodriguez is scheduling appointments to complete the FAFSA, you will either work with Ms. Rodriguez, you will work with a trained DSF volunteer, and those trained DSF volunteers could include me and Ms. Wickers because we were both trained DSF volunteers to help complete the FAFSA. And we want you to do that with our assistance so that it can be a little bit more stress-free from you, but there's things you need to have in place beforehand. So you are applying for the 2021-2022 school year, but the tax returns you'll need are from 2019. And basically that allows you to make sure that you had plenty of time to get those tax returns before that school year. So your 2019 tax returns, 2019 W-2, Social Security card. If you don't have your card, your number is fine. The reason we want your Social Security card is to make sure that the name on there reads correctly. It's important that that really matches up. So tax returns, W-2, Social Security card, and current bank statements. If you don't end up having those bank statements, that's okay. We can make estimates, but that always helps too. So those are 4 items that you can have for your FAFSA. Take a picture of this, and then that way you have those answers for the future when you're having to answer this. So now we're going to go over our budgeting. Okay. So let's take a look at homes here in Green Valley Ranch. These are homes that are for rent in Green Valley Ranch. 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Basically $2,200 to $2,300 a month. Also taking a look at our apartments there, right at 47th and Argonne. $1,300 a month up to $3,100 a month. And then we've got a house where people are sharing the house, 1 bed, 1 bath, $995 a month, right here in Green Valley. These prices are not much different in Montbello. They are slightly lower, but it just depends on where you are in Montbello. So know that these costs aren't really out of line. But this is giving you an estimate when we're talking about budget, when we're talking about cost of living. That's one of your first ICAP questions. I want to make sure that you really understand that. So this here is a general budget. It's not perfect, but I just want to give you an idea. If you were to get out and get into the job market right now and wanted to live independently, most likely with a roommate. So we're talking a housing of $895. So that means you're definitely sharing a home. Utilities, $256. Utilities may be a little bit lower if you're sharing them, but still that's an estimate. Food, $479. Transportation, $480. So that's car payment, that's car insurance, that's gas. And then it's also, you have to consider all the little repairs that you do during a year and how those add up. And if you divide those into a year, that's a good number. Let's say you have some student loans, $125 in student loans. Digital media, so we're talking about your phone, we're talking about Netflix, we're talking about Wi-Fi, things of that nature. Healthcare would be health insurance, just general personal expenses, clothing, entertainment, and savings are about $3,000 a month. Now, we haven't even included everything there, but in general, that's a budget of $3,000 per month is what it would cost to live independently at this point. You may say some of those numbers aren't right, and I completely understand that these may not be exact, but this gives you an idea. So in order to make $3,000 a month after taxes, you need to make about $3,500 to $3,700 a month before taxes. And in order to make $3,700, $35 to $3,700, it means you got to make about $22.50 an hour working full time, not including overtime, but $22.50 an hour working full time. I'm sure you know from the jobs that are available out there right now for students graduating high school, $22.50 an hour isn't easy to get. But that's the number that you need to be at to have some level of independence. Like I said, most likely living with someone, but some level of independence where you're not living at home. You're taking care of pretty much everything on your own. So the website that I use to kind of get this budget, I want you to take a look at in your time. This is another thing you can take pictures of. You can go to this by going to bit.ly/2021 ICAP budget. Again, that's bit.ly/2021 ICAP budget. And that takes you to this Education Quest website where you can either select your expenses and go that route to create a budget. You can also select your career, which will help you make a budget. So a completely different way of looking at it. So this is a great website. Again, it's Education Quest, and I set up the bit.ly, so I shortened up the website. It's bit.ly/2021 ICAP budget. Now, the other big piece of the ICAP questions, financial aid. So what is financial aid? So first, we're going to talk about the sources. Government can provide grants to you. Grants are free money that you don't have to pay back that can pay for school. And that is one of the best ways for you to pay for school, of course, because it's something that you don't have to pay for, something that you don't have to work for. It's granted to you for free. And that is what filling out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is all about, is one, determining what grants you're eligible for. Work study, that's working at the college that you're attending school and having that money applied towards your tuition. Okay, it's a great way to have a flexible schedule, a schedule that honors the fact that you're a student, that'll work with you in your schedule, your final schedules. And again, just making sure to honor the fact that you're a student first and working around that. And then the last piece is loans. As part of your FAFSA, it will let you know what loans you're eligible for from the federal government so that you know that you have a reliable loan source, a loan source that's going to give you a good interest rate and is going to give you your best terms as a student. Another form of financial aid is scholarships. And the majority of scholarships come directly from the school that you're planning on attending. Those are called institutional scholarships, but also there are companies and organizations and foundations that give out scholarships as well. So that is your four major forms of financial aid: grants, work study, loans, and scholarships. Among those, grants and scholarships do not have to be paid. Work study has to be earned, and loans have to be paid back. And those are typically paid back after you graduate or after you've stopped deciding to go to school. So, what is the FAFSA and why is it important? So, the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. This tells you from the government what you're able to receive for education for free from the government. You can apply to FAFSA if your parents are undocumented, but you are a citizen. If you aren't documented, you should not complete the FAFSA. But there are other applications you can complete to help you receive financial aid from the state or from the school that you can attend. Not federal financial aid, but you still can receive aid from the state and from the school that you plan to attend. Talk with Ms. Rodriguez if you fall in this category. If you receive money from the federal government, it comes as a grant, which does not have to be paid. This term for the federal government grant is the Pell Grant. Okay, so the Pell Grant, you'll hear a lot about that this year after you file the FAFSA. Pell Grant is free money coming directly from the federal government to pay for your school. These Pell Grants will be given to the school you attend by the government to help you pay for the cost. It doesn't go to you, it goes directly to the school. Okay? And then Pell Grants can be used to pay for certified technical colleges, technical schools, community colleges, and colleges and universities. So if you're focused on career, keep in mind focusing on career doesn't mean that you won't have any school at all, but you can certainly have less school. And that is through technical schools and colleges. Depending on what you're looking at studying, you might have much shorter time than what you would need to get an associate's degree, and most definitely a shorter time than you would need a 4-year degree from colleges or universities. Going back to the undocumented status, we just want to make sure that you understand, regardless of whether you or your parents are undocumented, we're going to help you. We're going to walk you through what processes need to be followed. Again, to be clear, if your parents are undocumented but you are a citizen, you can apply for the FAFSA. If you're undocumented, you cannot, but we'll guide you through what you can do. And so will your universities too. So completing the FAFSA is the first step. This will typically be, there will be other steps to complete for the school that you choose to attend. This is why it's important to make sure that you have a reliable email address your senior year that you'll check regularly, where important emails don't get buried. So my suggestion is having an email separate from your school email, having an email separate from your email that you get your Bath and Body Works emails, your Victoria's Secret emails, and all your other coupons from all the other places, Sephora, etc. Have a separate email where your college application information is going to go to, where your scholarship information is going to go to, and your FAFSA information is going to go to. And that is an email that you should be checking daily to make sure there's anything that you need to do. The most recent maximum Pell Grant amount, $6,345 a year. This is for the families with the highest level of financial need. So you may be eligible for less. You may be eligible for only $1 or even zero. But if your family is determined to not have financial need and you're at zero, there's still some options for you. Also, keep in mind that this is a government calculation based upon family income and number of people in your household. It's not a perfect calculation. This is their formula that they use. So just because your family is not wealthy, just because your family has financial need, does not mean that the government is going to determine that you have financial need. If the FAFSA says you are eligible for the Pell Grant, then you can also determine what your EFC, estimated family contribution, is. So again, if you're eligible for $1 for from the federal government, that $1 is in Pell Grant money. If you're eligible for 6,345, that is Pell Grant money. So whether it's one or whether it's up to 6,345, that's Pell Grant. So when people ask if you're Pell Grant eligible, if you're eligible to receive $1 from the federal government, you're Pell Grant eligible. Okay, so your EFC, your estimated family contribution, is how much your family is expected to contribute towards your education. Now, this isn't a requirement. This is just the government saying, hey, based upon our calculation, this is how much aid we're going to give you, and this is how much your family is expected to contribute. One easy way to figure out the Pell Grant or your EFC is if you're eligible for the entire Pell Grant amount, $6,345, then your EFC is zero. That means the government is expecting you to contribute $0 towards your education based upon your family's income and household size. If your Pell Grant amount that you're eligible for is $2,000 free dollars to get your education per year, your EFC is 4,345. So 6,345 minus 2,000. That's how we get your EFC. Now your EFC can be sky high, which means you're not getting any Pell Grant money and they expect you to contribute this much. Again, that estimated family contribution is not a requirement. It's not saying that this is what you absolutely have to pay. They're not telling you how much you have to pay. They're just telling you whether really you're eligible for financial aid. Okay, for whether you're eligible for the Pell Grant from the federal government. Make sure you keep record and remember your EFC. This is a very important number. This is a number you should easily be able to recite if someone asks you, what is your EFC? And again, you should know your EFC and or your Pell Grant number if you're eligible for the Pell Grant. Pell Grant money is first come, first serve. The federal government gives each school a different amount based on the number of students enrolled, so that money can run out. So make sure you apply early so that you can get everything that you're eligible for. You may be eligible for the full amount, but if you wait too late, your school may not have any more money available to students. So that means you may be eligible for the full amount, but there may be none available to you. Now, I've never seen this happen before, but I am told that this can happen, especially if you're waiting till the very end, past April, May, June time. So, important to complete the FAFSA because you've established that you have financial need. The reason you want to establish that you have financial need is it may help you receive additional grants from the school that you plan to attend, and also can be used for many scholarships to confirm that you have financial need. If a university finds out that you have financial need, that opens up more opportunities for them to provide funding for you to come to the school. So again, remember, you are eligible to receive a Pell Grant of $1. That means you have financial need. It means you have a lower level of financial need, but it still means you have financial need. Examples of the FAFSA in action, or the FAFSA dollars in action. Keeping in mind the FAFSA is just the application. Okay, that's it. The FAFSA is just the application. The money comes from the federal government in the Pell Grant, and we're going to give you some examples of how that works for you. So it costs approximately $6,000 to go to community college for a full-time student. So if you have the highest level of financial need, that means you can basically go to community college for free. Community college for free for 1 or 2 years, get your associate's degree, get your certification that you want, move into the career field that you want, or move on to college. So basically, 2 free years of school if you're full Pell Grant eligible. Community college costs, again, approximately $6,000 a year. So let's say you get $5,000 in Pell Grant. So you're not the highest level of financial need, but you still have a high level of financial need. Keep in mind also, something we'll talk about is the Denver Scholarship Foundation Scholarship. That is a scholarship for students who have been in DPS as a high school student for all 4 years. They're eligible for additional scholarship. Usually that scholarship is around $2,000 or so, depending upon how many classes you're taking. So that means you're getting $7,000 worth of money for free. So in this case, you may actually end up with about a refund of $1,000. You may get your laptop, you may get your books, but this is a way for you to go to school for free and actually have some money coming back to you to allow you to pay for some things that you need. Metro State University costs about $9,000. So if you are eligible for the full Pell Grant amount, Metro usually gives an additional grant of about $2,500. I can't guarantee they're going to do that in the future, but they've done it for the last 5 years. So if they give you $6,300 from the federal government and Metro gives you another $2,500, that means you have about $8,800. So that means it's going to cost you about $200 to attend MSU. And actually, that number may not even be perfect. It's closer to free at that point. So you may be able to attend Metro State University, not because you're a 4.0 student. You may be able to attend Metro State University for free because you have the financial need. Okay. Of course, you do need to get accepted, but if you can get accepted, you may be able to attend for free and basically have a full ride based upon your financial need. Let's give you another example with Metro State. $9,000 a year. You get the full Pell Grant of $6,300. You get another $2,500 from Metro to help pay for school. And then you also get our DSF scholarship. So in total, you're getting $10,845 in financial aid. You're going to have to pay Metro about $1,800. Excuse me, about $9,000. And that means you're going to have a refund of about $1,800. Again, that may help you pay for laptop, books. It may help you pay for rent, whatever the case may be. This is a case where you're actually basically getting paid to go to school. So these are examples. These are some of the more, not extreme examples, but examples that are basically allowing students to go for free. But I want you to know education after high school is possible for you, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be paid for. And even if you had some missteps along the way, you may not get to that university that you want to go to. You can start at a community college. You can start at a very good university like Metro State University and still attend for little or nothing based upon your financial need. That's how important the FAFSA is. So the FAFSA just opened. Ms. Rodriguez again will start having appointments from 1 to 5 p.m. starting Wednesday, October 14th, and then every Wednesday after that. So make an appointment with her ASAP and start getting signed up for these FAFSA appointments. Have it done for free by professionals. Make sure it's stress-free for you. So what can you do to get ready? Talk with your parents, setting an appointment, get your documents together. Again, social security number and card, W-9 from 2019 tax returns, bank statements, investment statements as well. We can help talk with you a little bit about that, but complete the FAFSA survey that's in the 2021 Schoology Classroom. Again, the FAFSA survey in the 2021 Schoology Classroom. That'll help prepare you and prepare Ms. Rodriguez so that she knows what the scenario is before we sit down with you. So I asked you to hold on to Student Portal, click on My ICAP Plan once you open up Student Portal, or go back to your Student Portal tab. And I'm going to have you complete your 12th grade questions, quarter one. And these were the questions that we discussed a little bit earlier. Okay, I can go back to those real quickly. So again, your current GPA, what you need to do in order to graduate, keeping in mind your SAT and ACT, you have not taken those. Those are NA. So question 3 and 4, those are answers are NA. And then again, what did you learn about cost of living, salary, and budget? That's what the exercise that we went over, determining your income, determining the different costs, and what it takes to be independent. What your current goals after high school are, and then the 3 documents you need in order to complete it, the FAFSA: 2019 tax returns, 2019 W-2, Social Security card and or number, and current bank statements. So complete those questions. Complete any other questions that you want to. Keep in mind you need to go back and complete some questions from 11th grade that we didn't get to do as well. And the last piece, make sure you save your responses once you get done with the quarter one questions. Like I said, feel free to answer any other questions, but at a minimum here, we're completing quarter one questions. Save your responses. And the last thing we need to make sure you do is complete your senior year survey. This can be found at bit.ly/DSF 2021. Again, the beginning of the year senior survey can be found at bit.ly/DSF 2021. This can also be found in the 2021 Schoology page and also found in the senior checklist. But this is the information that we're requesting from seniors at the beginning of the year. So your part of your SEL grade will be your ICAP questions completed and this survey completed. 2 really easy things to do. And that's going to be 30% of your SEL grade. Completing these tasks, super easy. And also know that you can improve your SEL grade if you take care of this. Your SEL class is going to be worth 5 credits, just like any other class that you take. And you're going to have 4 SEL grades this year for each of the quarters that we have. So that means you can get a total of 20 credits just from SEL. So if you're someone who's behind, who needs some credits, particularly elective credits, SEL is an easy way to do that. So again, finish your quarter one ICAP questions for 12th grade. Finish your beginning of the year senior survey at bit.ly/DSF 2021. And then also take a look at your 11th grade ICAP questions, any other 12th grade questions that you believe you can answer. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Take care.